Let's see this question. A and B together can complete a work in 20 days. B and C together can complete the same task in 30 days. A and C together can complete the same task in 40 days. Then what is the ratio of number of days taken by A when completing the same work alone to the number of days taken by C when completing the same task alone? So you can pause the video and read the question. I'll explain you what they have given it here. See this? One is, they are saying that A and B, when they are working together, they are able to finish the work in 20 days. That is what is given. And other one is B and C, when they are working together, they are given that they are able to finish it in 30 days. And the other one is A and C, when they are working together, they are able to finish the same task in 40 days. Okay. Now they are asking us to find out the number of days taken by, see this, find the ratio of the number of days taken by A when completing the same task alone to the number of days taken by C, which means we have to find out the A and C days alone and then find out the ratio. Okay. So in order to find it out, okay, one more thing, you might what the common mistake is, you might try to solve it just by taking the days. Like one common mistake is you might add all these days and you might say that the total number of days taken by A, B plus BC plus AC equal to sum of all this. That method is going to be wrong. So what is the wrong there is, I'll just explain you why it is wrong. See, let us assume that A can do a work in 10 days and B can do a work in 20 days, right? Now if you are trying to add them both, what you are trying to say is A and B working together can finish the work in 30 days, which is wrong, isn't it? When A can alone do it in 10 days, if you are giving him some more help from B, then he is supposed to finish it in less than 10 days, right? By doing like this, you are saying that both of them are able to do it in 30 days. It is fundamentally wrong. Adding up the days is wrong, isn't it? See, what some people will try to do is they will add these all up and they will say that 2 into A and B and C is going to be 20 plus 30 plus 40, which is I think 50 plus 40, 90 days. That is fundamentally wrong, isn't it? So okay, let us assume that you are right. Now what is that you are trying to say? A, B and C all are able to do the work in 45 days. When A and C are alone able to do it in 40 days, how can you add B also to the party and then say that they require 45 days? So you cannot add the number of days. But what can you add? You can add up the rate. Rate means the speed. If A can do the work in, let's say, 2 units per day and B can do the work in 1 unit per day, yes, you can add up the speed. Both of them working together definitely will be able to do 3 units per day. It makes sense. But adding up the days doesn't make sense, right? Therefore, you cannot solve the question by finding out the number of days by adding all these three and then subtracting A and B from that, and you cannot say that C takes this many days. That is fundamentally wrong here. Okay, now let's go with the other method. So what is the other method? Let's try to find out the rate and then use the sum to find out individual rates, and from those rates you can find out the number of days. That way it is meaningful. Okay. Now again we are at the same question where we have to find out the rates. How to find out the rates? Once you know the number of days, you can find out the rate by assuming some work. So what do you want to assume? Better take a number which is a multiple of all these three. So give me some number which is a multiple of all these three. So if you see 20 is there, 30 is there, 40 is there, maybe 120 is a good number because it is a multiple of all these, right? Whatever number comes to your mind, you can take it, as long as it is a common multiple of all these three, so that computation will be easy, calculations will be easy. Okay, now assuming that the total amount of work is 120 units, then what is the amount of work that A and B can do per day? So per day is nothing but the rate, 120 by 20, which means 6 units per day. Now what about the rate at which B and C are doing? 120 by 30, so which means 4 units per day. what is the rate at which these are working? 120 by 40, so which means 3 units per day, right? Now it is meaningful to add them all up, isn't it? Because when all of them are working together, obviously the rate has to increase, therefore the addition applies here. Now A and B, B and C, A and C rates are given. If I add them all up, what do you get? 2 times the rate of A, 2 times the rate of B, 2 times the rate of C, isn't it? Therefore I can say that 2 times the rate of A and 2 times the rate of B and C is equal to 6 plus 4 plus 3. So how much is it? 9 plus 4, 13. 13 units per day. So 2 into A and B and C is 13 units per day. Therefore A and B and C, their combined rate is going to be 13 by 2 units per day. Are you able to get this? Okay. Now what is it they are asking? They are trying to ask the number of days taken by A to the number of days taken by C. I told you that it can be found out by finding out the rate of A and rate of C. Now we know that all of them put together rate is 13 by 2, right? And now only A and B put together, the rate is 6 units per day. Therefore what is the difference between these two? Only C. So if I take out the difference, you will get the rate at which C is working. Therefore rate at which C is working is equal to 13 by 2 minus 6, right? So I think you are going to get 1 by 2 units per day. 13 by 2 minus 6, right? Okay. Similarly, in order to find out the rate at which A is working, right? Why am I considering A? Because that is what the question is. You have to subtract this one from A, B and C. Now if I subtract this one, 13 by 2 minus 4, isn't it? So A, B and C, all of them put together is 13 by 2, and now we know that B and C is 4, therefore you have to subtract it, and I think the difference is 5 by 2. If you see that A's rate is going to be 5 by 2 units per day. Okay. Now how can you solve it is, they are talking about the time taken. We know that time is inversely proportional to rate. Why? If you see the the derivation, I told you that if the total amount of work is W units and if the rate is R, then the time taken is W by R, isn't it? Therefore time is inversely proportional to the rate. So, and work is constant, isn't it? Therefore T1 by T2 should be equal to R2 by R1. Therefore the ratio of time taken by A is to time taken by C will be equal to the rate of C is to rate of A, isn't it? So time taken by A is to time taken by C will be equal to rate of C is to rate of A. Why? The more speed you have, the less time you take, isn't it? So that way if you solve it, it is going to be RC is to RA. So what is RC? 1 by 2 is to RA is 5 by 2. Rate of A is 5 by 2, isn't it? So it is going to be 1 is to 5. Okay. If you are not able to get this, then already you have assumed that the total amount of work is 120 units, and now we know the rate of A is 1 by 2 units per day. Now you find out the number of days taken by C. So what is number of days taken by C? 120 by 1 by 2, which is 240, isn't it? Okay, let's say TA is to TC. Now let's try to find out the time taken by A. Time taken by A is 120 by 5 by 2, which is nothing but 240 by 2, isn't it? So you can write 240 by 2, 5 I think. 240 by 5 is to 120 by 1 by 2, which is nothing but 240. Now again you are going to get 1 is to 5, right? Either you can do like this or you can do this way. Okay, so that is the final answer. 1 is to 5 is the final answer. Okay, fine.